My name is Tim Smith. I'm going to be talking about how you can leverage ChatGPT for Python scripting. So what is ChatGPT? ChatGPT is a type of artificial intelligence that can understand and read text kind of like a human. You can ask it questions, you can get writing assistance, whether it's code or just an essay or even an email. You can learn new things from it. You can pass it data and have it process that data and give you kind of a report of what that data is about. Or you can just have a conversation with it. One of the key strengths of ChatGPT is its ability to maintain context within that conversation. So as you interact with it, it'll adapt and evolve its responses based on the data that you provide. So we want to talk about some benefits of using that and the power that that can provide to help you with Python scripting. So one of those things is a structured learning tool, a code generation or optimizing your code, debugging assistance, and just some time-saving strategies. So the first benefit we want to talk about is a learning tool. So when you're learning Python, one of the ways to do that is to review other people's codes. And sometimes that can get overwhelming. It could be a lot of information and you're not sure where to even start. You can have ChatGPT help you break that code apart and explain each little section in detail as you go through it. And as you get more comfortable, you can dive farther in, or you can be like, I don't understand this still, and have it explain and give other examples to you as you're trying to learn it. Learning with ChatGPT is progressive and interactive. So the more details you give it, the more it's going to be able to help you learn and things like that. Here's just a quick example of giving it a function and just saying, hey, what does this code do? ChatGPT broke it down into different sections, explaining it, and also gave a summary at the end. So this function just takes in the name, checks if it's under 32 characters. If not, it prompts the user to put in a new name. And it keeps doing that until the user satisfies that 32 character limit, and then it passes the name back to the function. You can use it for generating code. So you can say, hey, ChatGPT, give me a Python script to do such and such. And give it a brief description, and it'll give you a basic script to be able to do that. Now, from my experience, it can make some assumptions and not work properly, not function correctly, so you may have to check some of that stuff. I've had examples where it'll kind of assume that an API call exists, whether it's the URL's wrong or the payload. Like if, for example, if you're trying to create a site, it might assume that there's a v1 site API call, and the payload might be asking for what's the parent name, the site name, and the address of the name. But the payload might actually need the site ID, and the address might need to be broken up. So you might have to do a little bit more work with that, but it at least gives you a basic structure of the code. I have had it where it's provided me an SDK that I didn't know existed that I was able to leverage within the script. So for that, I was writing a script where I was trying to use ESXi to see if a VM had a snapshot, take snapshots, and restore snapshots. And there was an SDK that was available that I found out through ChatGPT that I could use. The other thing you could do is you can have ChatGPT optimize your code. It might give you a different approach to how you're handling it. That might help with the readability, efficiencies, and organization of your code. The other thing it could do is you might be able to just have it add comments to your code. Maybe you forgot to add some comments, and you can give it that portion of code, and it can add some comments in there. That way, if you have to share the script with somebody else, or you come back in a year, it'll help you remember what was going on. So here's an example. I was working on a project where I had a list of profiles that I built out, and I wanted to apply that onto the controller. So I wanted to take that list and then take the list of the current profiles on the controller and compare the two and present the user with those changes. That way they can approve them or deny them before actually applying them to the controller. So I asked ChatGPT to write me a Python code to compare two nested dictionaries. And it gave me a simple function. It provided me a couple example dictionaries because I didn't provide it any information about what I was doing with the radio profiles. And then gave me a description of how the script worked, or that function. You can edit that right inside of ChatGPT and run it. So I went ahead and did that, and it printed the differences within the provided examples. Now, that wasn't quite what I was looking for. I wanted to have a list of those differences so I could present that to the user. So I asked ChatGPT to return the differences in a list. So I updated the function, added some code that returned that information from the function, from the provided examples, and then printed them at that point. I wanted it to, I didn't want to have to run the script again, so I just asked it, hey, give me a sample output. So it gave me the output of those two functions and the explanation of that as well. So it was a lot closer to what I was looking for, but I still needed to go farther because I had a list of radio profiles, and inside of those dictionaries of the profiles, there sometimes is a list, like a list of channels and things like that. So I asked it again to provide me with a nested dictionary that was in a list or it could contain lists. And so it updated the function, updated the examples so they're inside of lists and contained lists, and then automatically put the expected output as because that was something that I asked for previously. So I was able to leverage that to build the tool that I was looking to do to be able to present the user with the changes of the radio profiles. The next benefit I want to look at is a debugging assistant. So if you're getting an error message in your code as you're writing it, you can pass that error message into ChatGPT, and it can give you an idea of what's going on, help you kind of find that issue within your code. If you had been working on building that code within ChatGPT through that interactive process, it'll automatically find that part in the code and help update it for you so you can see where the changes need to be made. Or if you can't find it and can't figure it out, you can share the problematic code with ChatGPT and it'll help you find that out. The other thing you could do is if you're not getting the results you're expecting from a certain part of the code, you can give that to ChatGPT and the part or the output that you're looking for, and it'll help you figure out what needs to change to be able to get that to work. The other thing you could do is you could give it the code and say, add error handling. That way, if the script runs into an issue, it's not going to just crash and provide random errors to the user, but it'll actually close more gracefully and present them with something that's a little more readable. So I put in a basic script that does an API call to authorize and get an API token for API. And I said, hey, add some error handling to the script. So ChatGPT added the request post into a try block and added a timeout error, connection error, HTTP error, and then also tried to decode that JSON string that was returned and put it into a Python dictionary. And if there's an error with that, it would present a JSON decode error. The last benefit I want to touch on real quick is just time efficiency. So obviously the three things we've talked about also contribute to saving time, but ChatGPT can go beyond just the actual coding of your scripting. It can help with things before, like brainstorming ideas, helping you find out how you want to approach the script, or even helping you figure out what you want to script. And then post-scripting, it can help you with documenting what the script can do and what's needed to run the script and how to run the script and things like that. So that's what I had. Thank you.